Hey guys, welcome back to the Don't Settle Squad podcast, episode 71, Why I'm Going to Compete Again in Jiu-Jitsu. It's been nearly 4 years since I last competed in Jiu-Jitsu. In this episode, I'll explain the internal and external reasons why I'm going to compete again. So home in Roscommon now, as you can see, for those watching on YouTube, just using Dad's office here, and it's an absolutely savage day. So light might be up and down, but you'll hear me loud and clear anyways. So for this one, I made the decision that I'm going to compete again in Jiu-Jitsu, and it's something I've been thinking about since January. And people had asked me in the gym, like, are you going to compete? There's competitions coming up, etc. And I told them all the same thing. I've set a goal by the end of March, so at the end of March, I'm going to have my mind made up on what I'm going to do. So that can be good as well, just straight off the bat, if you're not sure of your decision on something. And it can be for anything, for a career, for sport and life, for relationships. It can be helpful to put an end date. So that this was like January 3rd or 4th. And I thought, look, 3 months, I'll give myself 3 months. That end date will force me to actually think more about it the closer it gets to it. And it did the job. I have all my reasons here, and I was able to make my decision that I'm going to compete again. So it's called Parkinson's Law, which means the allotted time that you give to a task, that reflects its relevance in your own life. So for example, college is the best example with this one. If you had an assignment due in 3 hours or 3 weeks, which one are you going to focus more on? It's the one in 3 hours time. So like when the time gap shrinks a lot, then the importance goes way up. So you think of it like a dial. If there's infinity time to make the decision, like you don't put a gap on, or you don't put an end date on it, then the importance is very low. But if you reduce the time, like it's 3 months away, it's 3 weeks, it's 3 hours away, then the importance of it goes up. So that's why I set 3 month gap, and then the closer it got to it, that made me focus more on it and come up with the reasons that I have here. So the decision was to compete again. And just for a bit of background on me in Jiu-Jitsu, I'm doing, well, because people ask, how long are you doing it? I started Jiu-Jitsu probably 7 years ago, something like that, 6-7 years ago. But my time on the actual mats training, there's definitely been like 1.5 to 2 years completely off training because of all the injuries that I've had. And there was like a leg break, a major new fracture. Then I had the knee surgery and different things as well. And my original guy who didn't settle story, just the chronic pain and injury, started as a white belt, and I just couldn't actually do jiu-jitsu. So yeah, that's kind of it. 6-7 years since I started, probably anywhere between like 5 to maybe 6 years actually training on the mats. And I've competed 3 times ever. Okay, so I competed twice as a white belt and once as a blue belt, and that was it. And didn't take it very seriously. Like I didn't train properly like I'm going to do for it now. And they were in the earlier years. So yeah, I suppose why didn't I compete at like blue belt and stuff? I solo traveled Europe in 2022, solo traveled Asia in 2023. So I'd like time away, and then that coincided with like the leg break, and I had injuries, and then I had knee surgery and stuff. So this year, the main goal from January to the end of March was see if I'm able to get my body right to train consistently. Because I haven't done that in a long time in Jiu-Jitsu. Like last year was pretty much off bars, coming to the class and doing some drills and light sparring. I couldn't spar hard at all because I was waiting on the knee surgery. So I wanted to see, like, in January to March, like, can I actually train hard in jiu-jitsu? Because I don't know. I've had so many injuries and the knee was bothering me for so long. So that was the first goal. Like, competing hasn't even been on my mind for years, between the travel and the injuries. So that was the first thing. Like, people asked me in January, are you going to compete? Like I said, I just want to be able to train hard consistently. Like, for competing's up here. If I can't even train hard consistently, that's not even something that I can entertain. So I was able to do that. I was happy enough. January to March, I was able to largely train consistently. There was times where I've a torn left knee that I need surgery on. I've a issue with my neck, some nerve issue in my neck that flares up sometimes. So I still have 1 or 2 old injuries that can flare up and can keep me off the mats. Sorry. It can stop me from sparring hard. So like if this flares up, I might just come and do the drills very lightly. Or if the knee flares up, same thing, but I can't spar hard. So look, overall, I'm 85% there. Like I'm 85% there with it. So that box was ticked, which now led me to go on and think, am I actually going to compete now? So we'll go into the 3 reasons that I have down here. So I have internal reasons, I have external reasons, and then the third one is something that'll just help you when you're making your own decisions. So on the internal reasons, number 1, to push and challenge myself. Number 2, to reach my potential in Jiu-Jitsu before it might be too late. And number 3 was integrity around the teaching. I've actually started teaching Jiu-Jitsu now as well. So for number 1, to push and challenge myself in all areas of my life, bar Jiu-Jitsu, over the last 5, 6, 7 years, I've had goals for everything. And they're so important because with goals, it gives it respect, commitment, and learning. If you have a goal, you have your direction and your destination, and that'll put the pressure on you to give it respect. You respect the goal, you'll start allocating time to it, you'll commit to it, and then you're going to start learning along the way as you fail and learn towards that goal. And the best examples would be my physical training goals, the splits, the one arm chin up, the handstand push up, all these high level goals that I picked when I was way down at the bottom with my mobility and my strength and my cardio. And yeah, I've hit some of them, other ones I haven't hit, but even the one arm chin up one is a good example because I got so close, but I haven't hit it. But I'm the biggest, the strongest, the most jacked that I've ever been in my life. I'm 7 kg to 8 kg heavier, and I'm stronger than I ever thought I could actually be. So that's a good example of why I set these goals. It's not necessarily about hitting them. I've hit ones like the splits, I've hit the handstand push-up, didn't hit the one arm chin up, etc. But just by setting those goals, again, respect, commitment, learning, that gets you so much more progress than if you said, oh, I don't know, I just want to train, and you've no goal. So with Jiu-Jitsu, that's how it's been. I've never really had an actual goal in Jiu-Jitsu, if I'm being honest. It's just been something on the side, my business life, my relationships, my other physical training, like strength, mobility, cardio, they all took precedence over Jiu-Jitsu. But for the first time now in my life, Jiu-Jitsu is becoming important, and that's why I wanted to make the goals for it. So yeah, the first goal I had was train consistently, and can you train consistently hard? That was ticked off, and the second goal then is going to be to compete, which again, if I win medals or not, obviously I'm going to try and win the gold medal. That's the whole point, just like trying to get the one arm chin up. But even if I don't, it's really going to push on my Jiu-Jitsu and help me become the best that I can be at Jiu-Jitsu, which is leading into point 2, which is reaching my potential in Jiu-Jitsu before it might be too late. Look, I'm not naive. I've come back from so many injuries. I've got back to a level where if you fought against me on the mats and you wouldn't believe my past, people are like, but you're so mobile and you're so strong on the mats and all this. And I'm like, yeah, well, I can perform on the mats. It's more afterwards that people don't see. And I had that conversation with someone last week where someone might ask me about how, oh, you feel good after the knee surgery, and then someone else was kind of like, oh, you had a knee injury, you're so mobile on the mats and all this stuff. So it's kind of I can perform on the mats largely, 90% of the time I could give my all, but yeah, they don't see then when I'm limping for the next week or two, trying to walk to the shop and things like that, or I'm waking up in the middle of the night with neck pain, I can't sleep, so yeah, it's not necessarily that you'll see it on the mats, it's more so afterwards in my own life, where the chronic pain will come at me. So with that, yeah, now I'm 32, I'm in my prime, like I said, the most mobile, strongest, fittest that I've ever been, the most mentally resilient. Now is the time. Like I said, I'm not 100%. I'm never going to be 100%. And that's just something I had to accept because I was March is coming, get to the 100%, get to 100%. I need another 1 to 2 surgeries to get to that 100%, to be honest. So yeah, look, I'm at the 85, 90. That's okay for me. Like I said, I can manage them largely. I know what I'm doing. I'm a mobility coach and a rehab coach. I'm able to manage these things myself. So that's what I want to do. I don't want to wait till I'm kind of 36. I'm in my prime. I'm in my physical and mental prime. And yeah, I want to push for my potential like I've done in the other avenues like the strength and the mobility. And then the last one for my internal reasons was integrity. So last year, because I had the knee issue and I couldn't really train much at all, there was actually a point I didn't know if I was going to be able to do jiu-jitsu again properly. And that was very tough to accept. So it was just another class where I'd been out for weeks. I showed up to do the drills, and even in the first drill, my knee went again. I was just like, what the fuck? So I just left. I want to be alone in those moments. So the coach saw that, and he knew my history and everything. So that's when he said, maybe you could get into teaching jiu-jitsu because I know you're a coach outside it, and I know you love it, but just at the moment, you obviously, your body isn't able for it. So that's what I did. Just more so forced into doing it. I thought I might wait until I'm a black belt and see if I want to teach it, but I'm purple now, and I got into teaching. So I've done like kind of 4 to 5 months of teaching at this stage. Like I've took, is it 10 or 12 of the fundamental classes, did like 10 kind of brand new beginner classes, and like in short, like I love it. Like I'm going to do it for life, I'm pretty sure. Just like teaching the mobility. Now, where will it go? I don't know. But yeah, really loving it. So just now that I'm actually teaching people, just for my own integrity, like I want to be really good, same as the mobility. Like when I was helping people with chronic pain and injury, I didn't just want to be someone who overcame their chronic pain. I wanted to be someone who went from fuck tips up to the front splits. And that's what I did. Like I was literally told by experts, the front splits are impossible for you, don't even bother, and all these things. And like over the years, through all the work, got to elite mobility levels where experts said like it's not even possible anymore. So that's what gave me all the confidence to go on and teach that and be successful, like getting clients for that, because I went from A to Z when they said it wasn't possible. So if you bring that over to Jiu-Jitsu, in Jiu-Jitsu I've gone from like A to M or something. Like, I haven't taken it massively seriously, haven't really pushed myself, haven't had the goals, haven't really competed properly. So just out of my integrity, like I want to put a lot more focus into it and be the best that I can be if I'm going to go on and start teaching people in it. That's just kind of how I operate with my values. So on to some of the external reasons then, reasons outside of myself. So number 1, inspire and educate others to reach their potential. That's something that I love doing, and that's very important to me, is inspiration and education, because that's what changed my life when I was inspired and educated by other people on Instagram, on YouTube, through books, podcasts, etc. So that's always going to be there. Just inspire and educate other people to see what's possible in the realm of Jiu-Jitsu. Then number 2, I want to be the better leader and coach in the gym now that I'm teaching. So it's kind of similar to the internal one, but you can see I have that down in internal as well, because it's about my own integrity. That's an internal thing. But also externally, I do want to be like a better leader and a better coach in the gym. And to do that, I want to start striving for my potential and not kind of holding back and just, staying at the hobbyist level, we'll say. And third external reason is more proof for the future. So what I mean by that is, since I started the teaching, I found out that I loved it in Jiu-Jitsu. I don't know where that's going to go. Like I help and teach in Brazier Jiu-Jitsu as a purple belt. Am I going to go on like on black belt there, be one of the black belt coaches there? I don't know. Am I even going to live in Dublin like for the next 20, 30 years? I don't know. Am I going to end up living here in Roscommon? I'm in my family home. Will I set up my own gym here in Roscommon? There's not really any Jiu-Jitsu here, so I don't really know where it's going to go, but I just know I'm going to be doing Jiu-Jitsu for life, and I think I'll be teaching it for life as well. So let's just say in the future, if I get my own gym, people want to see proof. Like, oh, who's Mark McCord? Oh, he's a black belt. Oh, what has he won? Oh, he's actually never competed really. And fair enough. Like, that's fair enough. Same with the mobility. Oh, what is he actually? Oh, he can do the front splits. Oh, Jesus, he came from there to the front. Okay. Like, so there's two sides of it. It's like, what can the coach do? And then what has he done for his students? And both are important. It doesn't necessarily have to be that way. Think of John Danaher. If you do Jiu-Jitsu, John Danaher hasn't won anything because he's so many injuries with his body, but he's coached some of the best in the world, and arguably the best in the world, Gordon Ryan. So, look, it doesn't necessarily have to be the case, but for me, I want to try and go for both. Like, I want to get the medals myself, and then also coach people as well to be the best that they can be. And last external reason, which is always kind of going to be there, I want to show people that they don't have to settle for chronic pain and injury. Like, let's just say down the line, I'm competing and I win some medals in some tournament, and then someone sees it on Instagram and they're like, oh, look, and the arms will probably be pumping from the match, and they'll be like, oh, geez, that guy's big and strong and mobile and he just won that tournament. And then they'll click in, then they'll read the story, then they'll see the documentary and see how skinny and in chronic pain I was and couldn't even do Jiu-Jitsu, never mind try and compete with it, and see all the chronic pain and even struggling to iron shirts at some stage. And then, they'll connect the two and be like, holy shit, like, I can do that. That's the whole point of it. So that'll always be there in my journey of just showing people that, look, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you settle for, and you can come from the bottom and go up towards the top. It's, it's up to you, and I'm putting that inspiration out there. So on to the third point then. So there's the internal reasons, the external reasons of why I'm going to compete. But number 3, this is just something that's helpful if you're trying to make a decision and you're not sure. Because that's what happened. The thing I'm not sure on is how much I'm going to compete. Because in my mind, I can be a bit of a perfectionist, which can hold me back. And it's like, I've competed 3 times ever, kind of half-arsed it. Now I'm going to compete, but I'm going to take it seriously. But it's like, am I going to be that competitor who competes like 6 times a year, 6 to 10 times a year? Or am I going to just compete once or twice a year? You know, I don't really know, and I couldn't actually settle on an answer. So that's where iterative decision making comes in. So let's say I'm trying to basically think, what's 10 steps ahead? I don't know what 10 steps ahead is, but what can I figure out? What's one step ahead? And like I just laid out through all of this, with all of this laid out, do I want to compete? The answer is yes. I know I want to compete at least once more, and just forget about the rest. I don't need to look past that. So just focus on that one competition, probably be the Irish Open in a few months, do gi and no gi, and prepare as best I can, which I never did before, go all in for it, and then see how I feel when I compete afterwards, reflect on it, and is that something that I can align with my values? Like, is it something that's actually important to me to keep doing this? Because if my heart isn't in it, I'm not going to do it. And look, I'm old and mature enough now and gone through many realms of life and got to highs and failed. It's not going to be like about the medal, like I said. I'm going to aim for the medal just like I aim for the one-arm chin-up, etc. But it's not going to be a case of, I won a medal, great, I don't need to compete, or I didn't win a medal, I need to compete again. That's stuff at a younger age, I think, or a bit more of an immature age. I've come a lot past that. So it has to connect a lot deeper with me. And if it does, it'll be a thing where I'll keep competing because it's pushing me and making me get better. Does that make sense? It's like, if I win 3 golds, it's not going to be like, okay, I can retire now because I've won 3 golds. It'll be a thing where I keep competing because I can see the value that it's bringing to my life. So yeah, that's a very good thing you can do. Iterative decision making. If you're not sure, like you're changing careers, I don't know if I want to do that for 20 years. Maybe shadow someone for 3 weeks. Do the first step and see if you like it. Same thing here. I want to go back competing, but how serious do I want to compete? I don't know. So just prepare for the one competition, see how that goes, and then I can make the second decision after that. We'll wrap up with a quote on competition that I loved and stole from someone, and I added on my own bit. So competition is the ultimate equalizer, stole that from someone else, and then I added in, and the elixir of progress. So competition is the ultimate equalizer and the elixir of progress. And what that means is, competition is the ultimate equalizer. That means it shows you the truth. If you think you're good at something, go compete in it. Then you're going to find out. You think you're strong? Try and do a heavyweighted chin-up. Try and do a one-arm chin-up. You're going to find out the truth. Think you're good at Jiu-Jitsu? Okay, go compete. The tournament's going to tell you the truth. You get submitted in the first round in 10 seconds. Did you go on and win the gold? It's just going to show you the truth. And I share the Miyamoto Musashi quote on truth a lot of the time. The truth isn't what you want it to be. It is what it is. And you can bend to its power or live a lie. Okay, so most people in life avoid the truth, but the harsh truth is what's going to make you get better and level up. Okay, so that's the benefits of competition that I'm thinking of. Like when I go and compete, it's going to show me what I'm good at. It's going to show me my weaknesses, and then I'm going to learn. And the second part of that quote, it's the elixir of progress. And that's because when you actually compete, you put yourself out there, you're a bit vulnerable, and now you're going to get emotional pain if you lose. And that's actually necessary for learning. In terms of human psychology, we actually learn from things that cause us emotional pain because your brain doesn't want to experience it again in terms of survival. So if you half-arse things and then you lose, you don't care because I didn't actually try that hard. The classic John Jones trick of going out partying the night before or the weekend before his fights, but he actually still won. But we do that sometimes because then we're not all in and we don't actually get as much pain if we lose because I didn't try that hard. So by going and competing in different things, you will have the emotional pain, and that's what's actually needed to go on and level up in that area. And from the first 3, that's what it did. Like my first ever competition, didn't prepare properly for it. I think I won the first match and I lost the second match because I was completely gassed. I actually should have won the second match. I just lost in overtime, but I was like a floppy fish. So I was actually better than that guy skill-wise, in my opinion, but I was just completely gassed. Like fatigue I've never felt in my life. Didn't actually think it was possible. And that quote, fatigue makes cowards of most men, it did to me that day. I basically gave up near the end of overtime because I was just so fucked. So that taught me my cardio was shit. And from there, I ended up buying the road bike for the shed. That's actually one of the reasons. Ended up getting a Bioforce conditioning cardio course from Joel Jameson, who trains UFC champs. Now my cardio is very good. I have a Elite VO2 Max, etc. So that was the pain I needed. Second comp, And white belt, a guy got me in De La Riva guard, didn't have a clue what it was, stuck there for the whole match. He ended up taking my back, and that was it. And that pain, now I use De La Riva. It's one of my best moves, one of my best guards. And then the third comp, I wanted to show that I'd heart, because I'd given up in some of the other comps, and I showed the heart, didn't give up at all, but I had zero strategy. Like, I remember in one of the matches I got battered. I didn't actually give up until right at the end when he got me rear naked choke. And I didn't give up till near the, like, I should have tapped earlier basically because I couldn't swallow for like 2 weeks. But I showed my heart in that. I got out of some really nasty submissions. He was way better than me. Like, his skill level was way above me. But I just didn't quit. Kept fighting back. But yeah, the learning from that was I had no strategy. Like, it doesn't matter if you're not giving up. Like, if your skill level isn't high enough and you don't have a good enough strategy, like your tactics and your technique, it doesn't matter. So again, that's partly what led into me, taking this more seriously, coming around this time to compete. Because look, I know the heart I have and I know the determination I have, etc. But that's not going to win you a tournament. Like, you need the skill and the strategy as well. So there you go. They're the reasons why I'm going to compete. Hopefully that's helping you. If you're thinking of competing in something or even just going all in on some other area of your life, hopefully this is going to help you make up your mind on it. So to finish up then, we've got the Mobility for Jiu-Jitsu class Saturdays, so that's 11:30, 12:30 in Brazier Jiu-Jitsu. This is an in-person class that I do, and straight after then we have Jiu-Jitsu sparring sessions. That's 12:45 to 2 p.m. in Brazier Jiu-Jitsu as well in Inchicore. So it wasn't on this weekend because I'm home in Roscommon. I had a family event, but Jesus, even just, I've done that now, 8 or 9 weeks in a row. It's probably the best part of the week. I actually missed it. It was like Saturday around the time I was rolling. Usually I was like, Jesus, I wish I was there now. So look, it's a great 2 hours. Come and do mobility for Jiu-Jitsu or other areas of life. It doesn't have to be for Jiu-Jitsu. And then afterwards, there's a sparring session there too. So if you want to start your mobility or Jiu-Jitsu journey, DM me. I'll give you more information on them. They'll be in the description as well. For the Physical Freedom Program then, the membership link is there. If you want the self-guided and the group call, or the one-to-one is there as well. Obviously you want to get better progress on it and take it seriously. And finally then, follow Rate the Podcast. If it's on Spotify or listening on YouTube, you should subscribe there. And yeah, that's everything. Cool. Stone settle. Live true to yourself. We'll talk to you next week.